I'm John Hersey, CEO and founder of John Hersey International with well, it's actually another contagious leadership tip. And I'm here today with Chip Lambert, who is really a business development expert who helps professionals really focus in on business development through relationships, and through relationships using LinkedIn, using social media. And here's how I want to get at this conversation that we're having is in our book, Creating Contagious Leadership, Chip, we focus an entire chapter on what we call vibrant communication. That just communicating for the sake of communicating is not cutting through the clutter anymore. And so many professionals and so many organizations are using communications tools that frankly don't work anymore. So what I'd really like to ask you is how, from a leadership point of view, how do we use social media to cut through outside and inside the organization?
Well, social media is really based on that. It's based on social communication and being social. So the tools that are out there help you take that direction that you're providing for your organization and the conversations really that you want to have happening inside of your organization, and give you tools to distribute those messages and those conversations out into your company, into the wider network that you're trying to influence, really. So tools like LinkedIn give you an opportunity to be in front of people who are using these tools with your status updates, with your blog updates. Twitter is very popular. So the more that you understand these channels to distribute your message, the easier it is for people to consume that message the way that they want to consume it.
That's a really great point. You know, years ago I was in the advertising business in New York and Boston, and there were only so many choices. You know, it was newspaper, radio, television. Now these tools are just other choices. And I think what I hear you saying is the reason to use them is because that's where the audience is.
That's right. People are going to consume their information the way that they consume their information. And it's your job to find those distribution channels and get your message out into those channels. Whether you're using video on your blogs, whether you're linking pictures, recognition of someone to Twitter. It's about getting that message out there so that people consume it the way they consume it. Some people consume it on their cell phones. Some people are consuming it at their computer, sitting at a desk. Some people have got mobile tablets. So you really have to think about, how is my message going to get out there? How can I use these channels? And what kind of messages do I want to deliver through these channels? And the great thing about technology today is that it's very easy to syndicate your message from one central location and get it out to all those other channels at once.
So I've got all kinds of choices: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace. I heard the other day, I think it was from you, that there's 1 million social media sites out there? I mean, is it?
You didn't hear that from me.
Okay,
but
wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the last count that I heard, there were over 66,000 social networks out there from very small.
1,066,000. Yeah. It's all the same. It's big numbers.
There's, you hear the big three of Facebook, LinkedIn, and MySpace, and then you hear the social applications like Twitter. YouTube, which happens to be the second largest search engine now out there. YouTube is now the second largest search engine. So the point is, if you really want to use social media effectively, find out where your markets are, and internally for leaders, their markets are their companies or their audiences. Find out where they are and syndicate your content.
Find out where they are. What do I mean by find out where they are? If I'm a business professional, which of these services or which of these channels is appropriate for business professionals, and how do I use it to reach my audience?
So most folks are using, especially professionals, are on LinkedIn. 55 million professional users. They're there using it on a fairly regular basis. I would say there's a lot of education still that's happening and needs to happen,
right.
But they're there.
So an awful lot of our clients, pardon me,
yeah,
but an awful lot of our... Tell them the title of your book.
The title of my book is Optimize Your LinkedIn Profile for Maximum Performance.
How can they get it?
They can find it on my website, www.networth.com.
There you go. That's the title of the book. So when it comes to LinkedIn, What I'm hearing you say, if you're in business, you got to be on LinkedIn. Now, I hear an awful lot of our clients say, well, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm using LinkedIn.
Right.
And what they really have is a profile set up on LinkedIn.
That's right.
That's
They're
it.
not using LinkedIn.
How do I? What's the one thing you would say to a business professional to do today to use LinkedIn?
Number one, to get your profile written out completely, because what your profile is communicating is who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Most people write their profiles like a CV, or they've copied and pasted it from their website. But that doesn't tell the people they're connected to how they can help them, how to help them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. That's why you link your blog. That's why you link your Twitter feed, so that the people you're connected with can stay in a conversation with you about what you're trying to accomplish. If your LinkedIn profile isn't set up to do that, all you've got is another static page.
You know, contagious leaders get the current movement. They get that they've got to be where their audience is. The business audience is on LinkedIn, and if you really want to learn about LinkedIn, you're going to be talking to Chip Lambert. We're going to tell you how to reach him through our information on this video, so get to him. That's what contagious leaders do. Thanks for being with us. Be well and be contagious.